As a producer, I really want to be, helming stories that bring to the world South Asian characters, actors, stories, talented writers, and I'm really proud that it sort of worked out.
I would have to become the creature that gets born only once every generation.
The White Tiger.
The White Tiger is a novel by Arvind Adiga, which came out in 2008 and follows the life of Balram Halwai. And it's basically a sort of narrative through his journey of being someone who's born in India of the darkness and moves himself towards India of the light. But it follows Balram's journey and the people he meets and his ambitions and his sort of assertivity of wanting to, be a certain place and what his birth dictates. His birth dictates, his future, and he wants to get out of that.
And it was very interesting for me because I got to play two characters within one character. The Balram from the darkness, which is the root of Balram, and the journey that he takes till the light, which is the Bangalore Balram when he becomes a successful businessman. So I think it was very important for me to understand his roots and understand where he came from. And, just doing these things just really opened my eyes up and gave me so much perspective into the kind of lives that a major part of the world leads. In fact, the privileged are only the minority. The majority of the world is this. This is representative of that. And I think it really raises the right kind of questions and opens up conversations that, we've been ignoring and helps us acknowledge the privilege that the few of us are born with and, helps you become more aware and sensitive.
It was at the turn of the millennium. It was a time when, India was at the precipice of being this global superpower, and there was optimism and enthusiasm, especially in the digital space and technology. And there's, about 60% of India is under the age of 35. So a super young country full of, ideas. And this was at that time, which is why Balram's character, when he says, this is the time of the brown and the yellow man, is so poignant to that time.
The LPG movement was happening in India. Private companies were coming in and were taking over, and there were lots of employment opportunities getting created. So you saw like a huge rise in the middle class, which essentially falls between the lightness and the dark.
I knew then this was the master for me.
I think if you see from Ashok's perspective, he's also a victim of the same system, though he's privileged. But still, the only difference between Ashok and Balram is that Ashok could not do what Balram eventually did. He's an aspirational guy. He wants to do so much for the country, for himself, for his family, for his wife. But he just didn't have the balls to take those steps. What Balram did eventually was not something that anybody can justify. Sometimes in life, you have to take extreme steps in order to be where you want to be. Balram is actually a very inspirational character for me. Like somebody who's breaking that wall and just coming out of the system and, raising his voice and achieving his dreams. I think what the beginning of the film, Balram wanted to be like Ashok. But I think now when the film is done, I think Ashok should have been like Balram.